she's not gonna do it. And I was like, cool, great, glad all that for fucking nothing, and I was livid. I couldn't stand it. It was too much. I couldn't do it. I was like, alright, this is it for the day. I can't take anymore.
It's over and I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, which is why I've been telling you guys. I need a week off so I can not be angry for walking in said building. Hate it. Hate it so much. I'm not a people person. I am not.
I've had to bust ass at this store for a while, and people have started just aggravating me. Like the other week, I had. Okay, so we count down at 7 o'clock now instead of real late, like at 8:30 before we close, because we had too many thefts happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to count down at 7 o'clock. Guess when our rush comes in? 7:10.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately 10 minutes after I count the other drawer down. So we only have one register, except me. What a surprise. Because I don't talk to them. I just fucking ring them up and get them the hell out of my store.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've been doing now recently is, if you have a debit card, an EBT, or a credit card, I can take you. I cannot give you cash back. You heard me, right? You heard every word I said just now, right? Well, God didn't gift everyone with good hearing. Even though I'm basically yelling at them to make sure it doesn't happen.
Making direct eye contact. They are looking me in my soul. They definitely heard me.
So I snapped. I almost say I snapped. I just raised my voice real fast because I had just did like 10 roll painters, got it all done, cleaned up the entire floor. Some children decided to piss all over the walls in the customer bathroom, so I just got done cleaning that.
I thought y'all closed that down, by the way.
We did, and then they reopened it.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, I'm living that's good longest. And then she got a line, and this one asshole who has been probably standing for approximately all of 3 microseconds. Hey, where's your hat? I'm like, oh my fucking god. I go up there, and he's like, oh, there he is, probably slacking off. And I'm like, ha ha ha, credit or debit? What? Credit or debit? I can't take cash. Credit. And he pulled out his, he said debit, and then he pulled out his debit card, and I'm like, alright. And I look down at his items, it's 1 Reese's bar. And I'm like, he's trying to get cash back. I've already said to everyone in the line, I don't give cash back. I don't have money in my drawer. So I look him dead in the fucking eye and go, I can take you with your debit card, but I cannot give you cash back. He's like, alright. And then I'm ringing him up. What did you know it? He pulled out $40. And I'm like, I look down at the drawer, and I slowly raise my head up and look him right in the eyes and go, I told you, I can't do cash back. And he's like, what? No, you didn't. And I literally, okay, so the drawers come apart so you can see if there's money stuck in the drawer. I don't know how I did it, but in one swoop, fierce motion, I just ripped the entire drawer out and slammed it on the counter with such ferocity, I broke the bottom. And I'm like, there's no money!
We have done!
And he's like, and then he has the audacity to look at me and go, do I still get my 40? And I'm like, no, you don't!
Is it in your ass somewhere? Because I don't have it.
And I'm just like, I'm so livid. I'm just, it was such a blow. I was like, stupid, give me the human race!
Why do we exist? Just to suffer.
And then he's arguing with me and like, man, how do you not have my 40? And I'm like, it's not fair! What are you failing to grab?
Because it's not fair!
I'm looking like at everyone else in the line, like, you heard me, right? I'm speaking English, not speaking some alien Japanese.
Somebody translate.
I'm like, listen. Literally, as he's still yelling at me, I'm like losing my mind. Like, is this a fever dream? I don't understand. Like, even to the point where my coworker is like staring at me for my concern, not the customers. My concern as I'm having a mental fucking breakdown, trying to grasp humanity in itself. Oh,
Just pinching myself all
still-
over. I must be dreaming.
And then after all of that, he's like, so I can't get my 40? Dude, I live on the other side of town. Why'd you come here?
Why did you wreck my fucking life?
I know there's another dollar store on the other side of the town, so why'd you come to this one? It's like it was on the way. And I was like, well, then you should have planned better. Because now you have to wait until 7 in the morning to talk to my manager, because now our deposit's going to be $40 over. So I have to save your sorry ass a little $40 slip for him in the morning. He's like, man, I don't want to come up here at 7 a.m. I'm like, cool, I have $40 free if that's how you want it. He's like, I don't believe you. He storms off. And I'm like, okay. He comes back. The audacity of this man walks back in my store. And I am about to throw this fucking, you know, like the metal carts that we push around to work on totes or whatever. This bitch is like 30 pounds. I was about to yeet the shit into his jaw. I was so angry when he walked through the door. I was literally grasping. You can hear metal just as I'm holding it. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, I want my money. Your money? That doesn't... What are you?
What are you on, sir? Can I have some? I need a break for this pain.
And then he brought his wife. He brought his wife, and I'm like, oh my sweet Jesus. She's like, yeah, we live on the other side of town, and I really need that 40 for tomorrow. And I'm like, cool, you'll have to get it tomorrow. She's like, excuse me? And I'm like, excuse me, but I told him specifically that we do not give cash back out when I was ringing people. I told him twice. I told him a third time when he was doing his transaction, and he still did it. And then she looked at him, looked at me, and I was like, I want to speak to your manager. And I'm like,
cool. You can speak to him in the morning. When you get your 40.
I was like, I literally looked at her for a second and went, he'll be in the morning. She's like, what? No, I want to speak to him now. All right. I literally did not hesitate. I pulled out my phone, immediately started calling him. She started looking to hesitate, like, he's not going to call his manager at 8:30 at night. He rings. Hello? How can I help you? Because I was just like, hey, Corey. I have a customer that decided to pull cash back out when I had no till, and I specifically told him 3 separate times that I had no money in my till, and he still did it anyway. And the customer tried to object, like, no, he did, and then all I can hear is Corey, well, they're going to have to send their ass up here in the morning, because we can't do anything about that. And I'm like, you're on speakerphone. He waits a second, all I can hear is, well, they fucking heard me. And then he hung up, and I'm like, you wanted to talk to him. He just looked at me with pissed off looks, and the guy goes, I still want my Reese's. And I'm like, you took your Reese's with you. He's like, no. And I look over. The dumbass left the Reese's on the counter. I was like, I go and get his Reese's. I hand him to it nicely. And I'm like, see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye now.
Walked off. Didn't even make eye contact with me on the way out. They just fucking walked out. I can hear the door slamming. Immediately, I can hear her voice screaming at him. And I'm like, ha! That was interesting.
They oh my god. Why couldn't they gone somewhere else? They could have gone to a gas station.
Corey called me and they're like, dude, they literally lived on the other side of town. I'm like, what? And he's like, they fucking live in Dallas. And I'm like, what? Then why?
I don't
did
understand.
they pull it from here?
At a Dollar General, of all places.
To take out cash at business.
I'm like, that was like the second episode I almost had, to the point I was just trying to resist using